Sam Howell, as we know, he was Washington's quarterback last year for the 2023 season. And it was high expectations for him going into that season. Unfortunately, it did not pan out. This is the first time that I'm hearing him open up about his time in Washington and him explaining what went wrong. Let's talk about it.
How I feel? Black. What I want?
Get back slow. I love the way she rock it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
YouTube, what's going on? It's your man Gotti here. Before we get into today's video, as you guys know, once we hit 7,000 subscribers, I'm giving away 5 Jaden Daniel jerseys. Alright, let's get to today's video. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably like, Juan, let it go. Sam Howell is no longer the Washington Commanders quarterback. Why are we talking about Sam Howell? Well, as y'all know, Sam Howell was one of my favorite players last year. I definitely thought we had found our franchise quarterback, especially with how he was performing in training camp, and a lot of veteran players from the Ravens were high praising him, and how he looked in the preseason. He looked really good, and he looked really good at the start of the season, and I thought we had found our guy. But unfortunately for Sam Howell, things did not go how we thought. A lot of that has to do to his play and also the situation that he was in last year. You put Sam Howell in this situation that he's in, if this was his first year of a new regime, he probably wouldn't have got traded. Probably would have had more than 1 year. But also with the narrative of him being a fifth round pick, Washington having the opportunity to draft a first round quarterback, that also played a factor in it too. Sam Howell to me has the potential to be a starting quarterback. I already went out there and said that he's going to take Geno Smith's job. If it's not this year, it's going to be next year. Now, Riggles Rags is a website that does great work on covering the Washington Commanders, and they just put out an article where they talked about Sam Howell, and Sam Howell talked about how his time in Washington didn't go as well as it should have or could have, and what is the reason for it. So let's go ahead and read it. The Washington Commanders came into this 2023 season with Sam Howell as their starting quarterback. Ron Rivera made him earn it by beating veteran Jacoby Brissett in training camp battles, something he managed to accomplish with a minimum fuss to get a big-time opportunity at the center. Howell wasn't in the easiest situation. There was some tremendous moments, most notably during Washington's 2 losses against Philadelphia Eagles. However, some critical flaws emerged as the campaign rolled on. That left Howell's future hanging in the balance heading into the offseason. Rivera was removed from the equation as anticipated. Adam Peters came into the organization and instantly began shaking up the Commanders' unarchiving roster. When the new general manager was convinced going with the quarterback at number 2 overall 2024 draft was the best route forward, the former North Carolina star became surplus to requirements. Interest was reportedly high in how this allowed Peters to extract maximum value for the signal caller, shipping him to Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks, to end a brief yet eventful spell with the organization. Sam Howell took the high road after the Commanders' exit. Howell's going to back up Geno Smith in 2024. The Seahawks will develop him over the next couple of years in hopes he can step into the starting role when that time is right. As for the Commanders, they genuinely believe Jaden Daniels is the superstar quarterback this storied franchise has craved for decades. When discussing what went wrong with Commanders recently, Howell took the accountability route based on Commanders via Pro Football Talk. He acknowledged forcing issues when chasing games proved to be his underdoing. The player is also looking to limit turnovers moving forward in pursuit of progression. He quoted this is from Sam Howell. I think I could have played some smarter ball. I think there were times where we were doing big in some games. I was a little too aggressive, just trying to make something happen, trying to get us back in the game. The turnovers are just way too high for what I wanted and what the team needed. I think that's definitely something I could take from last year. This is an admirable from Howell in keeping his high character. That said, he is not only one who needs to shoulder a sense of blame for his failure in the nation's capital. Rivera did a horrible job of recruiting along the offensive line. Howell spent the campaign running for his life and was the league's most sacked quarterback. While he brought some of those on himself, the options available weren't up to the required standard aside from Sam Cosmi and arguably Charles Warner Jr. Eric Bieniemy put too much on Howell. That cannot be disputed. Adopting a pass-heavy offense ignored the obvious talent of the running back Brian Robinson Jr. that shouldered the load it placed of significant amount of pressure on the second-year pro, especially considering his pass protection wasn't capable of coping with these increased pass blocking demands. Howell was thrown to the Wolves. One could forgive the player for feeling a little let down by those who were entrusted with the development. Instead of casting the blame, he took the high road and focused on the positives en route to a career resurrection in a different environment. What a nice piece of work by Rigos Rag. And that honestly sums up everything that I was going to say. Sam Howell, granted, he wasn't perfect, but look at the situation he was in last year. No offensive line help. Offensive coordinator did not put him in the best situations. The team just overall wasn't on the same page. As we later found out, Brian Robinson said it was a struggle trying to trying to communicate, trying to build structure, build camaraderie with this organization last year. And it just goes to show, no matter how talented you are, if you're not in the right situation, you will not succeed. Granted, Brock Purdy isn't the most talented quarterback. I will argue and say, talent-wise, Sam Howell is better than Brock Purdy, pure talent-wise. But the situation Brock Purdy's in is absolutely outstanding, and Brock Purdy is good himself. Granted, he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes, because again, he's with the 49ers. Now, will Brock Purdy be the same if he was with a team, let's say, on the back burner and one of the worst like the Panthers? Would he be the same? Probably not. He probably would be a Sam Howell, where you see the flashes and potential of talent-wise, but just because of the situation around him is weighed so heavily down that he cannot perform to the best of his abilities. That is what Sam Howell had last year. I full-blown believe Sam Howell is a starting quarterback in this league. He's a franchise quarterback in this league. Why do you think Seattle went and got him? Look what he did to Seattle last year. We should have won that game. Seattle saw what he did to them up close and personal and said, hey, man, we got to go get this guy. Because this is a guy that could potentially replace Geno Smith, and we don't have to fall off the face of the earth. We can just pick right back up where we left off and compete in the NFC West with Sam Howell. Sam Howell should have swept the Eagles last year. Should have beat the Giants twice. This team shouldn't have been 4-13 last year. But coaching was the big reason for that, as we come to know later. Ignoring Brian Robinson as if he's just a Joe Schmo and not a really good running back in this league with the potential to be a 1,000-yard back. Barely scraping to get Terry McLaurin 1,000 yards. Coaching. Granted, again, Sam Howell was not perfect. Did he try to force some things? Of course. But what do you think? What do you expect to happen when he's always on his back, running for his life, not really seeming like to have no help? We're down 1,000,000 points. Of course he was going to be aggressive. And the thing that I hated the most was they tried to take that from him. They tried to take his aggression from him. Of course, yes, play smart. But his ball, the kind of ball he plays, is aggressive football. He wants to take chances. But when it's bashed in your head, don't take chances, don't take chances, don't take chances. That's what you're going to get. And that's why I'm so happy that we have this new regime and Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels and Adam Peters, because we're not going to see what we seen last year. Will we be a playoff team first year? Probably not. It's a potential chance if Jaden Daniels is come on the scene and he's just on fire. But I'm not expecting it. But what I'm expecting is to see strides and progression through this season and showing Jaden Daniels why we believe him and him showing us why he's the franchise quarterback. If Sam Howell was in this predicament right now, I believe he would have the same kind of, feeling from the fan base as we have for Jaden Daniels. Again, I'm not saying he's going to be better than Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to say he has the potential of, God-given talent of Jaden Daniels. That's not true, because Jaden Daniels is number 2 overall pick and a Heisman Trophy winner for a reason. What I'm saying is situations matter. If Jaden Daniels was in Sam Howell's situation last year, I probably wouldn't be surprised if he turned out to be Bryce Young last year. You know what I'm saying? Situations make everything. It doesn't matter how talented the quarterback is. So I'm expecting Sam Howell to be really good in Seattle, whether that's this year, next year, the year after that. And I'm expecting us to be really good with Jaden Daniels, and it will be an even trade. So that's just my thoughts on it. I had to get some type of, video out on my guy Sam Howell because I was away when he got traded, so I didn't make a video and I didn't hear anything that he talked about. And y'all know I love Sam Howell, man. That was my dog. I felt like he was going to be our franchise guy, but we're moving forward, washing our hands clean. And now JD5 is that guy, and I'm excited for him. Let me know what y'all think about this video in the comment section down below. As always, me, boy, Juan Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe. Those to the Washington Commanders. Check out Chewy IRL. That link is down below in the description as we talk about real life and topics that everyone can relate to. 7K, giving away 5 Jaden Daniels jerseys. Have a blessed one. Stay safe. Peace.
Never gave a ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.